What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here. This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino, but in this one, we go over Michigan finally landing their transfer quarterback out of the Fresno State quarterback, Mikey Keene. We go over everything you guys need to know about him. Also, Michigan adding an analyst to the coaching staff, a veteran analyst with a lot of coaching experience. It was also a big weekend for Michigan, hosting multiple top transfer portal targets, including a new wide receiver. Also, Josaiah Stewart officially declaring for the NFL draft. We talk about all that and more in this video, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so Michigan has just landed a commitment from the Fresno State transfer quarterback Mikey Keene, as the Wolverines have found their portal quarterback. It took a little bit. They had to switch up their targets and go after, a couple other quarterbacks, but they finally got one, and Mikey Keene seems to be a pretty good fit, and we're going to be going over why. But first, he does have 1 season of eligibility remaining. We mentioned him last week, as he did take a visit to Michigan over this weekend. He's a 5'11", 200-pound quarterback. Will be entering his 5th collegiate season and spent his first 2 seasons at UCF before transferring to Fresno State the past 2 seasons. And this season, he had a 70% completion percentage with 2,892 yards, 18 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. In 2023, he had a 67.1% completion percentage with 2,976 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. He obviously did start against Michigan in the season opener. He went 22 of 36 for 235 yards with 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions in that game. He is a pretty mobile quarterback, so it brings a lot of much needed depth to the quarterback room. Michigan obviously wanted to get a transfer quarterback like Mikey Keene, a bridge quarterback for Bryce Underwood, and obviously Mikey Keene will be competing for the starting job with the incoming freshman Bryce Underwood, and also other quarterbacks like Jaden Davis, Davis Warren. And in his career, Keene has thrown for 8,265 yards and 65 touchdowns. Also has led the Mountain West in completion percentage each of the last 2 seasons while at Fresno State. Also, something worth mentioning that Keene did play with new Michigan offensive coordinator Chip Lindsey at UCF, so he is familiar with Chip Lindsey's scheme and his coaching style. And while at UCF with Chip Lindsey, he completed 72.3% of his passes with 6 touchdowns and an interception in 4 games before missing the rest of the season with an injury. So Michigan picks up the Fresno State quarterback Mikey Keene. Some big time news for Michigan. Obviously, they're going after other quarterbacks like the Baylor and Toledo transfer quarterback DeQuan Finn, who also visited Michigan. However, it appears that Michigan did check off a lot of boxes for Mikey Keene, and there were some on-3 predictions put in this morning, as E.G. Holland, Pete Nakos, and also Steve Wiltfong put in on-3 predictions for Michigan to land Mikey Keene before he finalized his commitment a little bit later after those predictions were put in. So Michigan gets their portal quarterback out of Mikey Keene. Let me know what you guys think about that. But before we do continue this video, I do want to give a shout out to today's sponsor over at BetUS. They have all the odds you need this football and basketball season, and obviously it is bowl season here in college football. A ton of great games, including the college football playoffs and other matchups like the Michigan-Alabama matchup. Currently, Michigan is a 13-point underdog in this one. Over-under is set at 43.5 currently. Obviously going to be a tough game for Michigan. They are coming off of a win over Ohio State. You can bet on this game and tons of other games, and you can go beyond the spread or the over-under, as you can go to the game props and can bet on things like the first score of the game, if it will be a touchdown or not. You can bet $50, return $125.50. And you can bet on tons of other things as well. And currently it is a great time to get started because BetUS is offering a 150% sign up bonus up to $2,000. And then you also get a 1 125% bonus on your next 2 deposits up to $2,000, all with promo code YouTube150. So go ahead, check them out at betus.com. Use promo code YouTube150. I would appreciate it. And obviously, please gamble responsibly. But let's go ahead and continue here, and wanted to talk about Michigan adding on to their coaching staff, as they have added an analyst out of Juan Castillo, as he was most recently the offensive line coach for UCLA in 2024. And this is actually some good news for Michigan as well, because he has 40 years of experience between college football and in the NFL. He was an offensive analyst at Michigan under Jim Harbaugh in 2019, has also worked for John Harbaugh, Andy Reid, and among others. So he has been all over the place in both college and the NFL, adds a lot of experience to the coaching staff, and he will be coming to Michigan as an analyst. So great news there for Sharon Moore and company. And then also, obviously, Michigan landed over the weekend the transfer linebacker from Georgia, Troy Bowles. We made a video on him talking about everything you guys need to know about him. But Michigan, they also hosted other top targets in the transfer portal over the weekend, including the Washington State offensive tackle Fa'aili Fa'amoe, who was the number 2 player at his position in the transfer portal. And he did make his way to Ann Arbor, as he was actually spotted with offensive line coach Grant Newsome while at the Michigan basketball game against Purdue Fort Wayne on Sunday. He was one of many transfer portal targets visiting Michigan that day, and Sharon Moore, Bryce Underwood also joined other early enrollees while at the game, at the basketball game. Another portal target was Alabama running back Justice Haynes. He made his way for a visit as well over the weekend. He was joined by Tony Elford and other coaching staff members at the Chrysler Center as well. And then also a portal wide receiver, UConn wide receiver Skylar Bell. He visited Michigan on Sunday as well. He was joined by Ron Bellamy, and he was visiting Michigan per his Instagram. He is a 6', 185-pound wide receiver from UConn this past season. He had 47 receptions, 783 yards, 4 touchdowns. He also played for Wisconsin from the 2021 season through the 2023 season before transferring to UConn. So he does have some Big Ten experience there, as Michigan's still looking to add, 1 or 2 more wide receivers from the transfer portal. Would definitely be huge. So it's definitely a big weekend for Michigan, hosting multiple transfer portal targets. And also, by the way, the basketball team did win that game 89-58, as they improved to 9-3 on the season. I also wanted to talk about Michigan general manager Sean Magee, as Sharon Moore, when he hired him, I mean, that was a big time hire when you look at it, because obviously the roster is going down to 105 total players now for college football. They had 136 on the roster. Michigan has to go down to 105 players while also adding transfer portal players. So obviously it's going to be walk-ons that have to leave, and also some scholarship players, which we've already seen taking place. But the good thing for Michigan is Michigan's general manager Sean Magee does have experience with all of this, and he has experience working in the NFL, came from the Chicago Bears organization and returned to work with Sharon Moore. Magee has also been a big addition for NIL for Michigan, and also having experience with contracts and all that stuff. He definitely has a plan for Michigan, not only for the current roster, but also the future as well. So there's a lot that goes into this. Sharon Moore, I'm sure, is definitely grateful to have Sean Magee on the staff and as Michigan's general manager. And now obviously there's trying to construct a good roster for Michigan while also not going over the 105 total players limit. And obviously they're still trying to retain players like Rod Moore, Derek Moore, Rayshawn Benny, Max Bredesen, and others. They've already gotten a few players back, which is huge, as they look to not only retain their players but also add on in the transfer portal. And so far it is going good for the Wolverines, but definitely more work to do. And also wanted to mention that the Michigan defensive lineman Josaiah Stewart has declared for the NFL draft. He was a senior this past season. He transferred over from Coastal Carolina after the 2022 season, and he was a big-time addition for Michigan through the transfer portal. Came in here, made an impact right away as an edge rusher, and this past season he was Michigan's leading sack player on the defense. He led the team in sacks with 8.5. He had 33 total tackles, including 2 forced fumbles as well this past season, and his draft stock after the season has definitely gone up. It was a phenomenal season from him, and he's going to have a great NFL career. But with that, that's going to wrap up this video. Hope you guys did enjoy. Again, shout out to BetUS. Go ahead, check them out at betus.com, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more. If you are new around here, I greatly appreciate it, and we will see you guys in the next video. Go Blue.